We're getting this. I can't do all three at once. The playing and my fucking shitty screams? No way. Dude.
Yeah, this is Others, man. I'm glad you guys, brought it up about the idea of we've been wanting to interview beyond just musicians, visual artists, writers, you know what I mean, videographers, photographers, venue owners, promoters, try to highlight the fact that it's not just the musicians that make it happen, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Definitely the ones that get the spotlight on us the most. But
I mean, honestly, I feel like most of like venue owners and stuff like that aren't even really musicians, or they're ex-musicians, don't even really play in bands anymore, and they just get looked to the wayside, or tossed to the wayside. They don't even get appreciated. Yeah.
Exactly, and unless you're like one of us running around the road, you're a good chance you're not even aware that all this extra effort and work is taking place behind the scenes.
We
to make
deal
it
with one person promoter.
Usually. Yeah. So
speaking of the owner.
Yeah, exactly. I was really kind of just hoping to kind of get a feel for what your inspiration was for because this is a big endeavor,
Sure.
No matter how you do it, this is a big undertaking, and
right.
It's a lot of extra pressure. I know you're in a band already. You guys
Right.
are a full-time band, so
Mm-hmm.
to have this on top of that, I'm sure it conflicts sometimes, or have to kind of set aside certain dates and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, what was it what was initial kind of inspiration for wanting to do something like this?
Yeah, so the biggest issue that we have had in the last few years here in Sacramento is there's not enough available places to play. Especially if you're like an up and coming band, some people are starting bands in high school.
Right.
They can't, like I did when I started playing when I was 15, and there's nowhere for them to play because they can't go play these bars, and they don't have the following to play places like Goldfield that's like a 1,700 cap room. These high school bands are not going to fill that space, right?
Yeah.
So we needed to try and find something that we could make open to everyone, all ages, and just provide a place for people to really have a place to actually play their music and be heard and seen potentially for the first time like we had. And that's why we're really big proponents of making sure every show here is $10. It's affordable. Everything else is expensive. These shows don't have to be. We're not doing this for money.
$10 for a show is
unheard
insane.
of.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's awesome is one of the reasons why they can make it $10 per show is these guys don't even take any profit, no nothing. This is all completely for the bands, for the people, the listeners, the viewers. Just
right. We Sean and I, my partner here, he's also in Neverbloom with us. Neither of us take a dime from doing this. We don't do it for money. We both have our own careers. That's not why we're doing this. We're not in it to make money. We just wanted a place for the metal community, rock community, indie community, just to provide a place for them to be able to play. Yeah. And it's a good room. We got a big stage. We spent a lot of money on upgrading the gear to make sure we got good sound. But it's 100% DIY, and we just
bands by bands.
Exactly, 4 bands by bands.
I was wondering too, because I was like, man, for a side room, this has got a nice setup, man.
Yeah.
This has got like a huge system and everything. And I'm like, what were they using this for? Before
Them church systems. Churches always have like really good sound systems. It's amazing. 3 subs minimum. Always at a church. I love it.
I worked at one that had line arrays, man. Like,
let's go. Flying 6 stacked 2 different line arrays.
Yeah, you felt it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you'll feel the air moving with that.
And that was like another thing is when we were growing up, church venues were awesome. But the issue we ran into is there's a lot of owners that were very like trying to push a narrative because they'd be like, oh no, you can come here to our shows, but we really want you to come to church here. We don't push that at all. It's really like we're providing a space for you guys to play. If you guys want to come see what church is about, fine. We're not going to preach it. That's not
one way or the other, right?
There's no initial we don't have any kind of like stake in the game. No agenda.
No agenda.
Exactly. So.
But I do remember mid-2000 church shows were wild, man.
They're crazy.
They played some really fun ones.
I saw a Day to Remember and Devil Wears Prada in a church. It's crazy.
Chelsea Grin. And that Chelsea Grin. Who else played that? When's it played?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw
Club Retro.
This was the weird one.
What churches were those?
Club Retro.
Club Retro and the Underground in Roseville.
So, dude, I never went to that.
The craziest show I think I ever saw at Club Retro was, and mind you, again, it was a church. It was August Burns Red. My Children, My Bride, and Impending Doom.
That's
Christian bands,
right.
I understand. But the band that they were playing with was the Acacia Strain.
Nice.
And so it's like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
it's a little weird
That
seeing
was
them
like
in a
what,
church.
2007?
Yeah, it's gotta
something
be.
like that.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
just a long
minute ago.
time. Yeah. This is like the Unbreakable era of My Children, My Bride.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2007
Yeah,
to
like
2009,
yeah.
around there.
We played with them in a church back in Merced. Is this huge
Amazing.
church called the Trench. Yeah, so many awesome shows happening
said the
around
Trench?
that time. Yeah, it was called the Trench. It was this
Interesting name for a church.
Yeah, yeah. It was a cool little spot that we had going for a few years. You know, I was actually going to ask you, Jose. I know you got something to say about all ages, man. This guy is a.
Oh, dude, I'm a big like supporter of like all ages show, just because, like you said, there's kids that can't afford like $15 shows. You know what I mean? Like we have a lot of love for like even the people that like may not be able to be old enough to go to the bars to, you know, catch a show. So for you guys to be doing this, it's like major props, man.
Appreciate that. Thank you so
it's
much.
Awesome. I mean, just to randomly ask, I feel like we're all roughly the same age. How old are you?
35.
Yeah, so we all had the same thing
Yeah.
back in that era in the
Yeah.
early 2000s. Like that's where any venue was basically either a church or a bar.
Exactly.
That was it. There
Yeah.
was no other like in
Yeah.
between or VFW halls.
Yeah, I
which
remember those.
were
Those are
almost
fun,
always
too.
all ages and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I mean,
Honestly, those are
just
the better shows, right?
giving
all
the
ages
kids
shows.
what we had.
Oh, yeah, dude.
absolutely.
It's always the most wild shows
You're
we
crowd
play. are
killing
all
children.
ages.
It's an all ages show, Jay.
My favorite shows I've ever played are in VFW halls. Or house shows.
Yeah.
There's just something
Yeah.
about that, like,
House shows
you're
are
right in front of me, you know, like I can smell your breath, you know? But there's something about that, like, like being intimate with
It's intimate.
everybody,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, no,
it's
it
just
is intimate.
different.
That's the right word for sure.
And you can appreciate it from both ends of it, right? Like
Right.
as a musician and as a fan, just being able to be in front of
Exactly.
like an incredible musician right there in front of
Yeah.
you, so awesome.
I used
I'm
to
in
try
that
and get free
moment
drinks from
right now.
people. You know, like, bring me a beer, I'm playing, you know?
Oh yeah.
We did that at a
you are.
Neverbloom show, the first one, actually. I wrote beer on the bottom of my bass, our first Neverbloom show, and lifted it.
flip up.
There was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
4 people who brought beers to the stage, and I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, I'm not actually, like, I wasn't trying
What
to
venue was
legit
that?
get beer.
They took it as like a beer
Midtown,
meet.
Goldfield.
Oh, okay,
That was
Midtown
our
Gold
first
Field.
show, yeah.
Yeah. But I was like 4 beers, and I was like, we got 5 songs. I got to get 4 beers and 5 songs. Light
doable.
work. Light work.
Light work.
Easy.
This has been around for about a year. It was about a year.
June of this year. So
Oh,
about
wow.
half a year.
So not even
yeah,
a
it's
year.
pretty fresh. Yeah.
And you guys
dang,
had some
really?
pretty cool shows
That's great.
already, right? I saw Cultist, you know, on here. With
yeah,
Wolves
so
came and
With Wolves has been
Idle
here.
Mind.
We
Dwellings.
had Dwellings, Convictions.
Convictions,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
show.
what
We
a
had
way to start
Confessions
out.
of a Traitor from the UK.
Whoa, yeah.
Like we've
There's
had
been
some
at
cool
least,
shows.
like,
yeah.
I want to say, on average, at least 2 shows a month since they've opened.
Whoa.
Right.
Okay.
And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been busy.
and we're booked through April now too.
How are you maintaining that and the band, man? That is so crazy.
Legitimately, and I have
awesome team.
I have a full-time job on top of this.
Yeah.
So I'll clock out from work, drive here, and then work here until like midnight. So I'm putting in like
Whoa.
16-hour days. Sean too.
Yeah.
And we're putting in like 12 to 16-hour days any day that we're doing a show here.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. We felt like that's something we needed to do to give people a place to play. Because where else are they going to play?
Yeah, who's going to do it if you guys aren't going
It's like
to?
Exactly.
Old Ironsides
Exactly.
is great, but it's only great for bands that are over 21. And
Yeah.
if you want to play a smaller venue, and unfortunately, there's a lot of bigger bands that are coming through that they'll sell it out like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel bad
cap
that they
there
have
is
nowhere else to play with, maybe get a little
130.
more people indoors.
Uh-huh.
And there's no shade to like Goldfield or Old Ironsides or anything like that, but it just felt like there was something seriously lacking in our scene.
There's a need, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It seemed like it worked out so perfectly too, because you guys kind of had the idea. Was like, what if we just open our own venue, and
Yeah.
then like got the go ahead from the church, and then like from there
Stuff
it
just
was
started
pretty much
falling into
exactly. It
place.
just like
Yeah.
all fell into place really naturally and really.
Right.
I don't know about
Exactly.
how easily, because I wasn't completely.
That's how it seems.
Completely
But
on
it was
the
a lot
inside.
of hard work, like you just said,
But,
dude.
like,
16-hour days, bro.
No, but just having like the location, getting the go ahead, and being like, yeah,
Right.
no worries about.
And that's how you know
Use our sound system, all that. Like it just all lined up. So.
And that's how you know you have something special, when everything just seems to like line up perfectly. You know what I mean? It's just really.
It's like it felt like it was meant to be kind of
Yeah,
thing. It was like,
yeah,
oh, it's a good
yeah.
idea, and then it just came to fruition really easily.
Yeah,
So.
and that was the crazy part about it, is because Sean and I started talking about it probably January of this year. And we're like, okay, we're probably about a year out from making this happen. Let's just start figuring out logistics of it.
Good joke.
And we did, and we it was almost effortless in the sense of like finding the right place and finding somewhere that we didn't have to dump a ton of money into. Like obviously, no matter where we go, we're gonna have to do something, but we got a hold of this place, and it just lined up so quickly. We were able to take our vision from 1 year into 6 months. Started talking in January. We debuted here in June of this year.
That's awesome.
And we had Dwellings play our first show here, and it sold out. It was
sick.
incredible.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
That's encouraging, right? For the first show to be like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, I haven't seen a show like that in a long time in the scene. So it was really, really cool to see a bunch of people from different genres, see a new venue, and we've kind of been figuring out some of the more like crazy headaches along the way, with staffing and things like that.
Right.
But overall, it's been
all that good stuff.
Exactly. We had issues with some of the monitors we were using before and some of the side fills, so we're just like, screw it, we're getting new stuff. And so like anything that you're gonna have starting anywhere, but we're very fortunate. We're very fortunate to have a lot of support, from the other
good team,
bands.
great team.
Right. Exactly.
How do you feel? I like that you guys are talking about cultivating community. It's something that's big to us too.
Yeah.
It's not just about playing, getting our band out there, but we're constantly trying to drag other bands along with us and stuff like that, and kind of make other venues accessible and stuff like that. How do you feel the community has been developing so far? Like, do you have a specific kind of vision in mind? I know. You already mentioned, having younger bands being able to have a place and come out in all ages, but how do you think that's going so far as what you see happening here?
So far, it's been really cool. We have people coming out here, they're respecting our space, not a lot of people coming out here just getting super drunk and starting fights or anything like that, knock on wood, of course, but everybody seems to be very.
Yeah, has there been any issues like that?
No,
so far?
surprisingly,
Knock on wood,
like
seriously.
there's
that's
been
really cool.
There was one issue, and it wasn't really like a fight or anything. There was a person on the side of like the pit, and they're in a wheelchair, and they got knocked over. Yeah, they got knocked over, and I was like, oh my god,
that's
like
intense, yeah.
and so I went over to them. I was like, are you okay? Like, is
Seriously.
everything fine? Like, do we need to call anybody? They were fine, thankfully. That's really
That's a cool story for them.
I literally, like, we're playing and I see that happen in real time and my heart just like dropped, and I was like,
During departure?
Yes,
it was
our
the
last song of the
set.
night too.
Of course.
The first time we're playing it to people, it was the debut of me playing live with the band and stuff like that. Yeah,
The song's dangerous. We can't play it live anymore.
right.
It's not even our crazy song. Like, we have heavier songs, and so it's just
You
like,
just wait for the next.
yeah, right. But no, that's really, we've been fortunate not to have any of that. People respecting the space. They respect the no ins and outs policy, and it's just, we gotta, we're gonna, in a parking lot with other businesses, we have to respect their spaces too.
Totally.
And so we're very fortunate in that sense. The scene seems to really be kind of rallying.
Yeah.
I think when we start doing more events like tonight, where we're gonna donate everything to an organization, it's going to be really cool to see people coming together to do that, because that's been lacking.
What organization, just so we can get it on?
Sure.
Podcast.
It's called Folsom's Hope. It's very similar to Toys for Tots, except it's a local organization. And the way it works is you adopt a family, and they have a Christmas list, and then you go out and shop for them and buy whatever is on their Christmas list, and you give it to them for their kids, for themselves, whatever. And that way we can get some families who can't afford presents this year something under the tree. So
No, that's awesome. And
exactly.
I saw the QR links around. We'll be sure to mention it when we're playing and whatnot. And I can put the link in the podcast description, because we plan on putting this out this month. So that's awesome. One thing I think is interesting too is to see how a venue can become sort of like a creative hub.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
absolutely.
Again, it's musicians, right? But photographers, videographers. I've been wanting to see zines. I keep hoping. I mention zines all the time, because I'm like,
should let me record out of here, dude. That'd be sick.
Honestly, I would love to do some like a new live studio type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Like they do those studio sessions for bands.
Yeah,
this is the place to do it.
Oh, for sure.
A sound treated room and
right.
The live videos and
that's another thing that Sean and I talked about when we started. if you're doing media, video, photography, I'm not even going to ask you to pay. Like, just take pictures.
That's smart. That's so smart.
I don't care.
You want them
Like,
here, right? It's like free promo.
Right. And again, it's like, we're not doing this for the money, so I couldn't care less. Like, who gets in just to see a show? It doesn't matter. Right. There's no bottom line you're trying to hit. We don't charge for kids. If they're like 12 and under, just bring them.
That's awesome.
We don't care.
That's awesome.
We got kids.
There's designated rooms for the kids to hang out in. We're doing this podcast in one of them.
Yes.
Exactly. So it's safe for, like, parents want to go out and have a night to themselves, but they could bring their kids if they want to, and the kids will be looked after and
makes
safe
it a
here.
lot more
There's
possible.
always a chaperone in the room with the kids.
Exactly.
And as a parent, you have no idea if unless you go to that venue, you have no idea if it's a suitable environment for your kid to be hanging out in. You know what I mean? So,
And again,
both
I
those-
wouldn't say there is one.
Both him and Sean are family men. They're both our
Yeah.
fathers. So yeah, I mean, that's again ties back to the whole idea of this place. You know, just providing a space for the young ones to enjoy what we enjoyed as
100%.
as our teenage years. Yeah, as all ages as it gets.
Right. Awesome, man. So this has been awesome. I really wanted to try. I feel like I do have a better idea of what this is about and what you guys kind of what you're going for. So pretty much what's next? Like I know you mentioned you all have like shows lined up till April. You said, or when was it?
Yeah. So we're booked out through April right now.
Wow,
Can you spoil any shows? Or?
Yeah, that'd be a good one if you can mention. If there's any you can mention right now.
No. Sorry, I brought it up.
All top secret.
So
You're gonna
none
have to
of
keep
them-
an eye at this on the site.
I think there's only one that's been announced, and it's mostly because there's a few that we're still trying to figure out like logistics of.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
confirming and all that. Yeah, I gotcha.
Titan is going to be playing
Awesome.
here.
Good friends of ours too.
They're doing a album or EP release with a
Is
couple
Remy
bands.
on that one too?
Who?
Reminiscence.
Reminiscence, yeah. Reminiscence
Those are
is
good
on
friends
it,
of ours, too. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Memoir from I think they're from Vegas. I want to say.
Okay.
So that one is confirmed. We already have all the bands ready to go for that.
That's in January, right? I thought I saw that one.
February.
February.
We have a couple shows in February. We've got one that we're working on for January. We're talking about potentially playing one here in March. I cannot spoil that one. I will say the headliner for it that we're talking to right now is going to be massive.
Okay.
Especially for us.
Yeah.
And there's another band that's also going to be doing an album release that show too, but I can't spoil that for them
No,
either.
that's good. That's good. Create anticipation.
Double
man. Get everybody
album release show. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, get everybody keeping an eye out for it. And yeah, we'll include links to your guys' socials too in the
Exactly.
podcast. Try to get people checking out what you all are doing on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Titan one is really the only one that we've announced, and I don't know if some of these other bands are ready to announce these shows yet.
Yeah.
So I
No, I
want to
totally get
respect
that.
their,
Yeah.
When's that?
that one. It's in February. Let me get
February,
the
okay,
exact date.
Got elevator music on right here.
No
Right.
kidding.
Some
While I
Muzak.
Muzak,
find
yes.
this, what were you guys expecting to find tonight? I guess is a lot of people they get here, they're like, okay, this is like a
It's an
legit
actual venue.
room.
Like,
yeah, it's like it's not like
feels
some,
like a venue.
This
some,
is your
like,
guys' first time here. I forget.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not some
I
like
forget who
2 by
all comes through
4s
and
in a
stuff, 'cause-
corner. You
Right.
know?
We've
Just
seen a couple
stand up.
videos, so we weren't
Very
sure.
cool.
We knew
Got
Okay,
views
yeah.
everywhere, and everyone's sitting in the pews.
Oh,
Yeah, and we pull up and we're like, "Is that the church?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude, I guarantee it's at the church." And immediately, all these memories of, like I said, mid 2000, all
Yeah.
these churches I played when I was younger. I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome." Yeah.
So,
So
I
cool.
gotta,
I didn't even realize
gotta
that's your first
retract
time
that
here. Okay.
a little bit. So Memoir is playing a different show, and that is February 22nd. That will be with Everglade, Vice Versa, A Moment's Notice, and Petroglyphs.
Nice. Those are all awesome bands. Man. We
And
played with
then
most of them.
January 5th is the Titan show. Their album release. They're playing with Reminiscence, Dreaming of a Day. They're from LA. Erased and In Chaos.
Awesome.
Solid lineup.
Yeah.
Reminiscence
we've,
or Reminiscence? How you pronounce
Reminiscence.
it? They're sick.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah. You guys are awesome. All right, man.
They're
Awesome.
from your guys' area, right?
Yeah, from Fresno.
they are?
Yeah, they're one of those are that's pretty much our brother band, man. They've helped us out so much, over like since literally since day one. First show we ever played was with them, and they kind of just took us under their wing a little bit, kind of help us out here and there. You know what I mean? Especially Jay and Michael, all of them, but Jay and Michael have really given us advice for just to help us out and get us along and stuff, and help us kind of hit our potential in different ways and stuff. So it's
Jay,
been awesome.
this is my first like interaction with him. Just booking the whole thing for January.
Yeah.
Nothing but good things to say. Dude is
Yeah.
like very quick to respond, very professional.
Very professional,
Like
yeah.
every interaction I've had with him, I'm like, okay, he's gonna make my night very easy. And
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah. He's a hard worker, and that's what it's all about, man. It's finding other hard workers to help you,
Right.
help us all kind of
Right,
get a little further
exactly.
along. Yeah.
Someone who knows exactly what they need to do, when to do it. They don't
Yep.
need me to handhold them through the process.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Love
For
that.
musicians, by musicians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you hold my hand?
Yeah, dude, you want to hold hands? Your hands are so much bigger than mine. I got these little baby hands. I
do have small
I play
hands.
fucking multi-scale bass, and I got little baby hands. All right, look at this.
Crazy.
I got little baby hands. All right.
He's like, I know.
At least you play guitar.
All right, man. No, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for letting us sit down.
Absolutely.
You all are the first people we've spoken with that are running a venue.
Sure.
So again, trying to collect multiple perspectives on this awesome community that's forming in California. You know what I mean? So thank you for
course.
having
Thank
us
you
here.
for having us.
Can't wait to catch your set
Yeah.
tonight.
Hell yeah.
Awesome night. Yeah.
Thank you.
guys.